we're feeling our best. Talking shop, but taking it slow. Crafting life as we go. From laughs to tools, from brews to skies, we're squeezing joy, no need to try. It's life with a twist of lemon. Two best friends and a vibe you can lean on. Tales, ideas, and a pinch of delight. We're bringing sunshine day or night. It's life with a twist of lemon. Two best friends and a vibe you can lean on. Tales, ideas, and a pinch of delight. We're bringing sunshine day or night. Life with a twist. Life with a twist. Life with a twist of lemon.
This is life.
With a twist of lemon. So, Jonathan, what do you want to talk about today?
I have no idea, Stan. We didn't have this actually on the calendar. It just kind of happened. So I think however the pod goes, it goes.
You wanted a spontaneous podcast, did you not?
Not that I remember specifically. Or you mean like in general overall?
Yeah, I thought you said we would just like have the conversation that we normally have, but we would record it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see what happens, Stan.
On a Sunday afternoon, during Lent, mind you, what is the conversation that we would have, Jonathan?
Generally, we would complain about work.
We're not going to do that on the pod. No. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. What do you have planned for today? Anything?
I have nothing else planned for today. Did church this morning. Cooked pizza yesterday. So
with sugar?
With sugar, yes. All 10 grams of it, Stan, which I think
all
is mostly to feed the yeast. So
incredible. You've learned nothing.
I mean, you sent me like this overly complex spreadsheet where you can adjust your ratios and things like that based on how big the pizzas want to be and how many people you're feeding. But this is literally called the easiest pizza you'll ever make. So
the blog, my blog, has the like canonical, no spreadsheets required, just the canonical, this is, the recipe.
Okay.
All right.
You haven't posted on your blog recently, so I have not been there because I am one of the people who gets email notifications every time you post something new.
I wonder if that still works, to be honest with you. No. The last post I made was in October, and then the one before that had been multiple years. So, but what are you gonna do? I'm actually I'm waiting the clock out here. I think I've finally exhausted my tokens for Claude. Really? And I'm quickly burning down on Codex for the week. Claude will reset here in 16 hours and 22 minutes. Not that anybody's counting. Codex, I've got a couple days left, and then I'll reset fully. But I'll tell you what, I have been pretty impressed with this Sonnet 4.6 model.
Yeah. Have you mostly been working on the exercise app that you haven't released yet?
Lots of refactoring. Yeah, refactoring just make things like coherent and cognitive, or to reduce the cognitive dissonance when I open up and look at the actual code. Because what I've noticed, this thing, when I started building this, I did not have a plan, right?
But you had a problem.
I had a problem.
All good ideas start.
Yeah, and the solution to said problem was very meandering with some non-trivial, like pull the rug out from underneath you moments too. But where it stands now, I think functionally it's like decent. And so my main concern now is how do I ensure no regressions? And normally you would write tests, right? But testing in SwiftUI is absolutely terrible. Like it is just a really miserable experience. And so in order to verify the things that I want, I have to get things out of view components and into testable components. And that's what I've been using the robots to like do as of late. So
interesting.
It's not the most fun work. I'll say that much.
Once upon a time when you were trying to convince me to be a software engineer, you had me writing unit tests and code you wrote, and now the robots have taken over. So
now the robots have taken over. Yeah. I mean, there's really no better way to understand how a piece of code works than the right tests for it. In this situation, what I've got is like a UX that's good, or at least good enough for what I want. but there's too much business logic baked into how the UX works. So I got to get that to a place where I can test it reasonably. So I have this where I'm like planning out refactoring, and then I tell Claude, go do it, right, and then it works through the problem space, and then afterwards I say, what should I manually QA? Which
Nice.
I have to do because we're pulling stuff out of the UX or like out of the UI components into business logic components, and it's not the most fun thing, to be honest with you. And I keep struggling with this whole SwiftUI experience to write an actual UI test. It is just miserable, and I don't like doing it. I don't think anybody likes doing it. Apple has not figured out a way to make this not completely stink, and so it's I begrudge it. This is not the part of the development lifecycle I like.
Fair enough. Maybe there's somebody out there who does.
Yeah, it could be, but to me, this is just a huge technology and platform gaps that Apple has not addressed. But it is what it is.
Which is sad because they used to love their developers.
And I think they do. I think they do. But this is a space. I don't even know how to articulate why it's this bad. I think you have to be doing UI applications to experience this pain. And I'm not sure that the people that are building these tools do enough of that to just understand how awful it is. And the other thing too is like, sometimes you only know how awful something is if you know how good it is elsewhere. So like writing UI tests for a React app is, a really nice experience. But I don't know that, who knows what's going on at Apple, but like you have to have that comparison point to know, oh, this is bad because it could be so much better,
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure that Swift will continue to evolve over time.
Yeah, it will. It will. I'm sure too. It is. I think I've told you before. It's fascinating to me how much the robots struggle with Swift, just in general. It's a lot better than it was like a year ago, but because it's a newish language and the language has changed so dramatically over time, that the robots have a lot of bad information. So.
Yep.
Speaking of robots, John. We haven't gotten a resume update recently. How is the resume project going?
We will say that it's been on hold. Basically, I did follow it all the way through the end, and then I was utterly disappointed in what it kind of spat out. So,
why were you disappointed? What was it about it that disappointed you?
So basically, I was trying to compile this overall. It's basically like a CV where it lists out every single thing that I've done kind of across my career, volunteering, things of that nature, and then really take the specific steps of, hey, I held these 3 jobs and did these specific things at once, kind of as this master document that you could then use as source material or go pull from. So I went through this. I think that I probably answered somewhere like 120 questions from ChatGPT about individual jobs I had, things of that nature. And in the end, it's like, okay, give me the whole thing. And it was 2.5 pages long.
Wait. So I got to back up a little bit. It asked you 100 questions. What did you do to get it to ask you 100 questions?
This has been long enough ago that I don't remember, Stan. But this is generally how I approach these types of projects. Is like, it's, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. Let's take our time, ask me questions, interview me to really figure out the details needed to compile this end result. So I very much will do it like that. Generally, it will tell me, like, hey, here are 30 questions at a time. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to try to answer 30 questions in this one chat window. Give them one at a time, and then we'll move on.
I actually, it's funny. I think that here's multiple questions I need answered as a response from AI is a really awful experience. It hinges upon you numbering things in a way that matches contextually. Like, you can choose to skip one, and like, what does it do with that? I really think from the experience side, it needs to get more like question A, question B, question C, right? And maybe
Which I think
multiple
it
options.
does if you're in advanced voice mode. So I don't know what the disconnect is there.
It's probably just like editor. Haven't gotten the editor up to snuff. I will say Claude Code sometimes, and I don't know what dictates when it snaps into this mode, but sometimes it will actually give me in the terminal like a multi-step form to fill out, and it'll always give me like, here's 4 options, and then the fourth one is always, or tell me what else to do, right? And so like, hey, here's, and when it does it, it's super cool. I've shared some screenshots with some colleagues before, but I just don't know like what decides for it to do that versus list stuff out for me and roll with it. Because as of late here, working with the Sonnet 4.6 model, I have not encountered that at all. When Opus 4.5 came out, like was that over winter break? I hit it a couple of times, but just it's not consistent, right? So I don't know what's going on. But I think there's like, you got to build the UX for it, and there's got to be something that encourages the model to use that versus a normal, like, here's a list of questions. And I just don't think they've cracked that nut yet. I haven't seen anything like this in ChatGPT on the text side, and not in the Codex app either.
I wonder if you could prompt it to do that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's entirely possible. I would think like, ask me one question at a time. Like I think right now, if I ask ChatGPT, create 20 questions for me and ask them to me one by one, and then summarize the findings at the end, I think it would do that. I would hope.
Right. So this it reminds me of some AI stuff that I have done in the last couple of weeks. One of them is the HubSpot evangelist, Kyle Jepson, basically came up with this prompt to put into Breeze Assistant, which is the AI chatbot built into HubSpot. And it was basically like this knowledge exam for HubSpot admins. It's like, how deeply do you know how to admin HubSpot? I think it ended up being 10 questions, something like that, and would grade you on different things and give you kind of next steps of things to learn. It was super cool, but it did give me all 10 of those at the same time. And at the time I was messing around with it, like, it was pretty in the weeds, deep stuff for what it was doing. So I didn't actually go through the whole exercise yet because I didn't have the time. But that's to say, like, hey, these are really cool. I think that one of the things that you have going for you in your code stuff that maybe the general end user of ChatGPT does not have is you are literally feeding it a whole code base and language and all the things there, and it gives a bunch of context to what you are working on. I am starting to see the same thing within HubSpot, where now HubSpot, which they are calling the agentic customer platform, moving away from CRM language, has all this context about what is going on in your business or what platform you're on, and things like that, that I think this is kind of the next step for the power of AI, is using it in context of where you're working. And this was kind of the promise of what Apple Intelligence was supposed to be as well.
Yeah, Apple Intelligence. I can't remember if I said this in the last podcast, but the 26.4 version dropped. There's really nothing of consequence as far as new Siri goes. So, yeah, I don't know. Super annoying. But I'm actually, as we're talking, I'm testing this out. So I gave ChatGPT a prompt. I said, ask me 10 questions about my health, but ask them to me one by one. And after you're done, summarize them all. So it has done this. It said, question 1 of 10, what is your primary health goal right now? List me some options. Had to type them in free form, but it's good. I'm on question 8. So before we're done with the podcast, I'll be able to tell you how the summary works. But I think I was pretty specific with the prompt. Ask me X number of questions about topic, but ask them one by one. And then after you're done, summarize them all. So I think that's like pretty prescriptive.
You could have prompted it to give you multiple choice answers too, probably.
Oh,
ask me 10 multiple choice questions.
Yeah, that would make it easier. See, I feel like I'm getting more prescriptive than I want to be, though. Right.
Right. So like in the moment, I don't generally think about that. It's like, if I came to you with a question, it's like, hey, Stan, how should I think about my investment portfolio balances, but something like that. So you don't get to that level of detail when you're asking specific questions in the moment without really thinking about it and being intentional about it.
Yeah. So question 10, it asked and gave me a summary up to that point, which is not what I wanted it. And then it gave me another summary after it did the 10. But I'm curious now, why don't we do this? Ask me 5 questions, one by one, using multiple choice about my Lego preferences. You want to see how it does it? We'll do this live.
Let's do it. Do it live.
All right. Question 1 of 5. When you build Lego, what type of experience do you prefer? A, highly detailed display models that look great on a shelf. B, play-focused sets with action features. C, technical builds with gears, motors, and mechanisms. D, large immersive builds that take many hours or days. E, quick, satisfying builds under 1 to 2 hours. None of these are actually what I would prefer.
Kind of like an A and C kind of person, aren't you?
Probably. Well, no, I don't really care about technical builds with gears, motors, and mechanisms. Highly detailed display models, and then large immersive builds is probably, so it's A and D. So I'm going to go with, actually, let's try this. Let's do A and D and see how it handles that. It's thinking. Question 2 of 5. Which themes interest you most? Real world vehicles, architecture and famous landmarks, space and science, fantasy or medieval worlds, pop culture franchises, modular city buildings. Well, definitely pop culture, right?
Can end up with the friend set.
Could one of that. Within pop culture franchises, which type appeals most? Here we go,
nice.
John. Star Wars, superheroes, Harry Potter, classic movies like Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, etc., or video games.
So this was contextual based on your last question, which it would not have been if it asked you 5 questions at the same time.
Yeah. Which is also pretty cool, right? So definitely wouldn't have zeroed in. So I gave it A or D. How important is scale and size to you? A, bigger the better. I want centerpiece statement builds. B, medium-sized display models that fit easily on a shelf. C, smaller collectible display pieces are fine if they look sharp. And D, size does not matter as long as the design is excellent. Ooh, this is tricky, John.
I feel like if it gets too big, you would be annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why I have not bought the Titanic, right?
Right.
It's probably a beautiful set. I just have no desire to go that big. All right, so I'm going to do size does not matter as long as the design is excellent. It's thinking. Question 5 of 5. What level of budget are you comfortable with for a single set? So A, under 50, B, 50 to 150, C, 150 to 300, D, 300 to 600, E, 600 plus. So this is fascinating to me. It has given me A, B, C, D, E as options for all of them. And I've responded with letter, A or B. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say budget is less important than my happiness, which is not a letter answer. Let's see what it says. Based on your answers, you prefer detailed display builds and long immersive experiences. You like pop culture, Star Wars and classic movies both appeal. Design quality matters more than size, and budget is not the primary constraint. Here are high signal recommendations that match your profile. All right, Jonathan.
How many of them do you have?
Actually, interestingly, none of the ones that they recommend, but they over-rotated, I think, on the pop culture piece. So the first set it recommends is the UCS Millennium Falcon, the big one, 7,500 pieces. Then the UCS AT-AT, and then the really, really big Back to the Future set. And then Ghostbusters, which the Ghostbusters car is pretty cool. I won't lie. Like the wagon, like that, that's solid. But it gives me actual links. And then it talks about its decision framework, which, not bad. I'll take it. So I guess the key is precision of the prompt, which, to no one's surprise if you
Well, and that decision framework probably comes out of your custom instructions too, right? Because don't you have it?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because I have very specific custom instructions in terms of analysis and design. Interesting too, this provided direct links to the Lego site for each of the things that I was recommending. Nice. And that's another thing that I have in my custom instruction set, like cite your sources, provide me links. And actually here, just because I'm curious, let me just real quick check. Let's go to lego.com. or where does it go? It's being a little slow, John, because we're recording.
That one's not my fault. My internet has been solid for a whole episode in 20 minutes, knock on wood.
There you go. Oh, this is interesting. I haven't actually seen it do this. So when I tap on Lego Icons Back to the Future Time Machine, it actually pulls up a more detailed pane. And then it does include a source to Amazon because I tell it that I prefer Amazon as a retailer. That's cool. That's cool. It does not have, oh, there it is. It does have a Lego.com reference, but it does include, this is so cool. So it includes a review on Reddit of the particular set, a review on YouTube of the set, and then a link to both Target and Amazon. Looks like there's a Walmart one too. I think Target's another retailer that I might mention in my custom instructions. So
nice.
There you go. Little live AI demo.
AEO is crazy, Stan. And like, it really is the new SEO at this point. But basically, like AEO, you measure share of where you show up in answer engines, and like you optimize for questions, and they highly rank user generated content. So you'll often see Reddit show up. These reviews showed up, and it's a new game, Stan.
It is definitely a new game. All right, I just to clarify here. So my custom instructions, last two lines are, actually, let me give you the last three lines because I think this is interesting. Always aim for the quickest path to a good decision. When doing research, provide citations. Favor retail sites like Amazon, IKEA, Wayfair, and Target for physical goods. Favor the Apple App Store for software. There you go. So, and you can kind of see how that probably shaped this response, or at least I'd like to think it did. Okay, so this just reminded me. I was thinking about, I for what this is worth, I don't think the shopping experience is quite yet good enough on the AI front. So I've done a couple of things that I think is interesting, right? Like where I'll say, hey, the one that ChatGPT still has not been able to solve for me is I'm like, I want a tray to elevate the tissue box on my bathroom sink counter, right? Yeah. I just want to give it a little bit of height.
We talked about this, 4 episodes ago?
Probably.
Where I was trying to understand your problem statement. So
it still doesn't get it, right? So not great, not ideal. Here's another one that I've been struggling with recently too. I described a pair of shoes that I really like, the Hoka Bondi 9s. And I described what I liked about them very specifically. And I said, go find me shoes that I would like to wear that feel like this going into a Michelin star restaurant. Okay. Going back to a couple weekends ago. I have purchased 3 pairs that it has recommended, and I have returned all 3 of them. The delta between the Bondi 9 feel and what I've ordered has been huge. So now it's possible that what I'm looking for doesn't exist. All right.
That is possible.
Maybe business casual shoes are not comfortable.
Is that the robots have never worn shoes.
Okay, but shouldn't they be looking at the analysis of material, the features of the shoes, and also like reviews?
I mean, maybe, but you have historically had shoe problems.
Yes, I know I've historically had shoe problems. I'm in a good spot on the shoe front right now. But the kicker here is I do believe, like in another life, I'm going to just review shoes for people and I'm going to blog about it. That's what I'm going to do, John. That's in retirement. I'm going to review shoes. I'm going to get people to send me shoes to review because I have very strong opinions about the toe box. I have strong opinions about the arch support. I have strong opinions about the squish that I expect or lack thereof in the heel, right? Also, I'll tell you right now, I run in a pair of Brooks shoes. They're great for running. They sell their shoes with the worst possible shoelaces, right? They're freaking running shoes, and the laces are too short to do a runner's loop and double knot, okay? Now I'm sorry, but I think if you are making running shoes, the runner's loop is an expectation, right? Like it's not an optional thing. You put freaking holes in the side of your shoes to make the runner's loop possible. And then I don't know anybody who runs who doesn't double knot. All right. So like, what is Brooks doing?
I mean, they're trying to make more money off of you because now you have to buy shoelaces too.
But I didn't buy shoelaces from them because they didn't offer me shoelaces that were longer. And here's I actually bought 3 sets of shoelaces. By the way, those are ridiculous to return. Okay. But what I did, the problem, this is the other problem with the Brooks, is the eye holes for the shoelaces are smaller than any other pair of shoes I have. Right. So I had to find not only a lace that was long enough to do runner's loops and double knot, but also narrow enough. And like, I'm telling you, man, this was exceptionally difficult. And just to be clear, I ran all of this through ChatGPT 2, and it did not give me a good recommendation, which is why I bought 3 of them. Right. So I think the shopping thing is not solved. I had another experience yesterday where I was convinced again that the shopping experience is not solved. And I think it's not solved. It's not just like online retail, in-store retail, it is not solved. Okay. So I wanted a bottle of the Robert Mondavi Cabernet Sauvignon that I had, or red blend. Sorry, it's red blend, not a Cabernet Sauvignon. Red blend that I had on my cruise ship, right? Apparently Total Wine carries it. They do not carry it at the store closest to me. And so, or at least they did, and then it sold out. And I didn't know there was a delta in terms of like when I found it and then when I showed up. But I get into the store and I'm trying to ask ChatGPT in Total Wine, where would this thing be physically on the shelf, right? And it can't help me navigate the retail store. It can't help me navigate the hordes of bottles that are everywhere. And I think that's another piece too. Like, I want to be able to take a picture of the shelf and say, find me a bottle here that matches what I normally like. And we're just not there.
Yeah, and again, I think part of that is lack of context.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But
like when Total Wine builds that out, and then Total Wine knows all of its inventory all over the place, and you've started reading different bottles and things like that, then like you've got this AI assistant within the app that I think takes that context into account.
That's fair. There's another thing that I think at least the chat agents are not doing yet in a way that is helpful that I think they could be doing, which is multi-turn internal prompting. I mean, maybe they're doing this and we just don't see it. But like, I've been, I'm building the exercise app. I got an AI generation thing. Apple's foundation models are really abysmal, and so you can't
surprise anyone.
Yeah, you can't one shot a request, right? Like, I'm basically like, hey, create a 10-minute HIIT workout, right? And in order for me to create a 10-minute HIIT workout and create a upper body circuit workout, right? Circuits being a different structure. I have to do multiple turns with AI to assess, like, is this a circuit? Is it not? Right? I've got another round that just does estimation. So if you say 15 minutes versus, just upper body strength, like, and I think some of that multi-turn stuff in chat, if it's happening, it's opaque because, like, you can see the thinking steps. And sometimes it does what I'm describing, but there's another piece of this where it's blowing up your context and it needs to throw stuff away more. Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm digressing a little bit here, but I do think the shopping experience has a lot of potential and is mostly unsolved at this point.
I could see that.
The ads that ChatGPT are going to start doing, I think are going to make this worse before it makes it better.
Oh, absolutely.
You haven't seen one of these ads yet, have you?
I have not, and that could be a good reason why I switch over to Claude.
Well, you're a pro subscriber, aren't you?
I am.
Okay, so my understanding is that we won't get it. I've been trying to ask people I know who are too cheap to pay for pro, like Henry, right? My son. He won't pony up.
We just value, privacy a little more. And now it means we trust OpenAI.
yeah, right. We trust them to yeah. I want to see how they actually pull it off, because I think there's probably a tactful way to do it, to be honest with you. We'll see.
I don't know. Is there, Stan? Because like even if you go look at Amazon listings now, like you search for something on Amazon, you gotta like sort through all these stupid sponsored ones or however they flag different things.
Okay, hold up though. So when you search for something on Google, you have a sponsored ad usually at the top too, right?
Correct. Well, now it's
Okay.
usually like an AI thing and then sponsored ads
AI
and
and
then
then
the
sponsored.
actual. Yeah.
How many sponsored results do you have on a Google search?
I haven't looked recently. Stan, when was the last time you used Google?
I use Google every day, Jonathan.
What should I search
I
for?
think you'll find. Why don't you search for exercise bands? What are the best exercise bands? This is a search. I'm trying to pollute John's algorithm right now.
All right. So at the top, I have sponsored products run by Google Merchant Center.
Okay, and then do you have a
there's,
sponsored
Then I
search
have
result?
sponsored results. There's 3 of them.
3 of them. Okay. Now, if we go into Amazon and we do the same query, I think you'll get more than 3 sponsored results. What do you think, John?
So we've got big sponsored results. So that one's sponsored. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first like call out and then the first row of results are all sponsored.
Okay, and if you scroll past some of the non-sponsored ones, I think you'll find more sponsored results. Maybe, maybe not.
There we go. Under more results. I guess I haven't looked at Amazon on my desktop in a while either.
So, you get a little more linear experience with the mobile, but I think that what Amazon has done is they've just given too many slots to sponsorship. So I don't have a problem with Google saying, here's the sponsor result, right? But they limit themselves. At least that's been my perception of it. And the other thing is I have not seen Google throwing sponsored results in the middle of non-sponsored results. So sponsored is always at the top, then you got a bunch of stuff. Amazon will sneak them in all over the place. And you got to look, because I also think that the prominence of the sponsored label on Google is a little more clear than Amazon.
Could be.
So now let's talk about ChatGPT. Could they do it Google style or could they do it Amazon style? I don't, everything is possible. The question is, which route will they take?
That is a good question. I'm still kind of annoyed at Google where you don't get the actual organic listings until halfway down the page.
Well, that's only gotten worse with AI results, right?
Right. And then they'll throw in like video or places, and like it kind of reminds me of early internet days. Like you remember the Yahoo homepage that was just a mess. Like we're getting back to that. So
well, yeah, okay. It wasn't a mess originally, John. It was just a list of folders, and you could click into links.
Sure.
Granted, you were probably still in diapers for that part. But yeah, no, this is the thing, right? So I do believe that ads can be done reasonably well. I am not sure that OpenAI has the muscle for it. We will see.
I think I want, and like they're doing this in some places, but I think I want more control over what types of ads I see, and that I want them to be helpful.
Okay. Do you know of any platform right now that is giving you helpful ads?
Yeah,
exactly.
Probably not. I think that there is some, like there's something to Instagram ads that at least are interesting to me where I will often click on them.
They're relevant, right?
Yeah.
And not necessarily helpful, but relevant. I think you're spot on, right? And this is maybe Instagram's secret sauce. Now, I don't need.
Although on Facebook, I don't think that's the case. So I don't know what the deal is there. Because
Facebook,
it should be,
dude,
it's the same advertising platform. So
are they the same advertising platform? Because
I think it all runs through Meta Business.
Oh, that's insane. There's got to be something different about the. There has to be something different about the way they pick ads. Like there just has to be.
Right.
So I think the Instagram ones are at least a little spot on, at least identifying my persona and my interests. But it's a big delta between that and being helpful, right?
Sure.
And I've ordered a few things. I think I've told you I've ordered a few things on Instagram. I've ordered more things from Instagram ads in the last 2 years than I have in the last 20 from Facebook.
Same. I mean,
Okay.
mine is still under 5, but
Still under 5. I think I'm past 5. So I think I've told you. Did I tell you about the pillow debacle?
I don't think so.
Oh, this thing was awful. So like, I have I've got a lot of issues with pillows as I use shoes. Yeah,
food.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but I ordered. There was a pillow, and it looked like I was convinced by the ad. So I purchased it online, and 30 days later, I had not gotten it. Right.
Not a great experience.
Not a great experience. So I emailed and I was like, hey, what's going on? I got a tracking code. Like 30 days more goes by and the tracking code, nothing's been shipped. Right. So I decide, okay, like 60 days, I'm done. This is like too far. So I go into my Apple Card, I dispute the transaction. And the next day I get a notification that my package is shipped. And so at this point now I can see the tracking status. It shows up a day later. I open it up. It is the most janky packaging I have ever seen in my life. The return address goes to someone's apartment in Chicago, right?
Okay.
And the pillow just smells like gasoline, right? So like that really strong.
Not exactly what you're looking for.
No,
really
not at all, right?
But
fortunately, I didn't have to pay
not in the
for it.
garage.
I didn't have to pay for it, but like it was so potent that I left it. Yeah, exactly. I left it in the garage, and I wasn't even comfortable taking that to Salvation Army. I just had to throw it out, right?
Yep.
So that was not a good experience. But then I had the pantaloons that I got Mrs. Lemon with. It's like bib overalls with pockets. She loves those, right? I got a coffee mug that was pretty good. I ordered a Christmas ornament for my Pilates instructor, which was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever ordered because I thought it was an actual ornament, and it turns out that it was an AI generated image printed on a piece of plastic. And it had her name, right? But which is part of the customization, ordering it. But it, like, I don't know, it had a Pilates reformer on it, and the one that arrived did not look like a Pilates reformer. So that wasn't great, but it also wasn't a huge expense. I've been very tempted. I get Lord of the Rings stuff all the time, right? I've been so close to buying the Easton Press printings. Like I get those. I see those at least twice a day, and I have for the last 9 months, right? But then I also have
the knives that have like different scenes on the knife blade.
No, I wonder if I will after this podcast episode. I do get ads for a knife that has like a magnet and is like a crazy sharpening solution.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like this little circular. See, because you and I, we're connected. We got a blend, an Instagram blend. I think you're the only person that looks at the Instagram blend. I don't.
So what happens is you send me like 4 of these things, and then I just try to scroll to get to the next one, and then it takes me to the blend instead of to the next thing that you sent me. Oh, yeah. So like I don't go out seeking the blend; it just happens.
It just happens. You don't send me a lot of stuff on Instagram. I send you a ton of stuff.
You do.
To be honest with you, I don't usually get more than like 3 or 4 swipes down my Instagram feed. Like it's all that, like, on point. The other thing that I get a ton of is all the GLP-1 ads.
Oh, we should talk about this, Stan. Where are your thoughts on the GLP-1 stuff?
Well, I'm not a doctor, Jonathan, so I'm not going to sit here and give advice about GLP-1s.
But you have opinions on everything.
I do have opinions on everything. Here's what I'll say. It seems like there has been a ton of like legitimate medical science done around those drugs, and that there are legitimate needs and use cases. I think that the ads I'm getting on Instagram right now are all about how to acquire these drugs without going through insurance, and that seems highly sketch.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I'm not totally sure that you should be using Instagram ads to make medical choices. You've actually heard me rant about this, I think, in other venues. But so what I'll say is, like, I'm not convinced that it is bad or evil, and I'm not going to vilify it like I would red dye 40, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to vilify red dye 40. At least not publicly. Anyhow, but I'm not really sure that the way people are acquiring. My also understanding is that, like, for it to actually be useful, it's a long-term game, and I think most Americans are short-term thinkers at best, right?
Yeah.
But I think, from what I understand, because I listened to a couple of, I've got that nutritionist, right? That I like. I've listened to him interview some people about GLP-1s.
This
It
is
sounds
probably
like
why you get those ads, and I've not seen one on Instagram.
that could be. That very well could be. But explain to me why I'm getting, what is it? Tim Horton? Not Tim Horton. Is that the guy? Who's the P90 beach
coffee,
body?
right?
No. What's the Tom Horton? Mike Horton? Yeah, Tim Hortons is the coffee. Who's the? Oh my gosh, Horton. I think he does P90, right? Yeah, P90.
I have no idea.
Tony Horton, not Tim Horton. Tony Horton. You got to explain to me why Tony Horton is in my Instagram all the time, and I've actually done the suggest less quite a bit. So I don't know what's going on there. So, yeah. But
another one that I don't get to stand. So.
I don't know, man. And there's another guy too who is like Tony Horton, who's making his own supplements that are they're just a bit much. So, okay, all right, let me zoom up. GLP-1s. I think they're addressing a chemical issue with the way people think about food. That's probably valuable to a lot of people. Definitely seems like a long-term commitment and a discussion you should have with your doctor. And you should not use an Instagram ad to decide to do that. I personally am scared to death of them, because every time I look at the complications, it's mostly like, you're going to be incontinent. All right. And I'm sure that it doesn't actually happen, because complications are like exceptional. They're rare, but I just know I'm going to fall in. Like, anytime you see those ads for medications on the television, they're like, may cause gangrene or your toes will fall off. Like, I'm that guy. That I'm the one who gets all of the side effects without fail. Right. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
That was a tangent I wasn't expecting to take, but
how did we get on GLP-1s in the middle of our podcast?
You were talking about the ads for it, and like, I just listened. It must have been an episode of My First Million or something like that, and they went all in about GLP-1s and how.
Yeah. Like, you sent me that. You sent me that episode. What was the guy's name?
I don't remember.
Yeah. No. He also, and this is going to kill me now. What the name of that guy is? I thought it was a terrible podcast episode, but your mileage may vary.
There are some good ones. There are some not so good ones. They have interviewed Dharmesh several times, since it's a HubSpot podcast.
Okay. I could see that being a good interview. So, man, I cannot find the link to this. But he actually mentions about the extent to which legitimate medical science has studied the effects of GLP-1s. And I think you've heard me in other contexts talk about how much I value legitimate science. Scott Galloway. Yeah. Man, he sounds like a weirdo.
Yes.
He's just such a strange character. I don't know. And he teaches now. So, like, that whole podcast, we should dig up a link to that. Maybe you can edit the pull request after I open it, and include a link to it, because it was just a little different. By the way, your podcast listening, very different than my own. Very, very different than my own.
Well, not that different, considering I listened to a bunch that were recommended by you. Planet Money had a great one on this whole tariff ruling.
Oh yeah, I haven't listened to Planet Money in a while.
They're putting out a book. They're going on book tour, Stan.
Planet Money is?
Yeah.
What was the Jacob Goldstein, right? Jacob Goldstein used to be on Planet Money and released a book, I think. I don't think I'm misremembering that. What is the book supposed to be about?
Um, it's like whatever started the whole podcast. They haven't talked about it recently. I just know they're going on a book tour. They also partnered with Exploding Kittens to
There's a
create
whole
an
website,
economic-
planetmoneybook.com, a guide to the economic forces that shape your life. I bet this would be good. You've heard me talk about The Undercover Economist. I love those books. I think those are great. If this is along those same lines, I'd be stoked. So, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to listen to Planet Money and The Indicator all the time, but I stopped because I got so sick and tired of hearing about our president and tariffs.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that has not gotten better since I discontinued listening probably 9 months ago, if I'm being honest with you.
Sure.
So yeah, that's why I've stopped. Maybe I'll resume at some point, but I'm so just over it.
The other one I listened to that you recommended is 99PI, which is generally a great podcast. Occasionally there's episodes that are kind of
I haven't listened to that one in years.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know why I stopped. I don't remember what the reason was, because I bought the book. I love the book. There are some episodes of that podcast that are just so fantastic. But yeah, I don't listen to that one anymore. So what else do you listen to,
Stan?
All right.
I've been listening to Decoder recently, also because of you.
Decoder is one that I listen to quite a bit. I listen to the Nutrition Science podcast with Dr. Adrian Chavez.
And I'm going to listen to that one, Stan.
Oh, you should. It's so good. So good. So good. There's I listen to our friend Aaron Fanker, Pastor Aaron Fanker. I listen to his sermons every week. That's a podcast. Version History, which is from The Verge. I've sent you a couple of episodes. We've talked about them.
Version History on hiatus. I haven't seen one of those hit my
They do
feed
seasons,
recently.
right? So they drop seasons where they'll do a set and then they'll go through it. Another one that does
those
that
have all been good that I've listened to. I've got some.
They have been good.
Listen to.
I would say higher production value in terms of the prep that goes into it.
Sure.
Another one that I really like called Land of the Giants. I think I sent you the Disney Dilemma the last season they did. So I've done a few of those. That's a just solid podcast. And then I love Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Those are long form episodes. They don't come out very often, but they'll be 3-4 hours an episode. And I think they're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So that's really what I listen to right now. Not a ton.
I've started listening to that I have not listened to in the past, like through an actual podcast app. Life with a Twist of Lemon.
Oh,
because I don't have that second time where I listen through it anymore. So it's like, what did I talk about? What stupid?
Well, I don't listen to it. I don't listen to it a second time through either. And then I don't subscribe to this through my podcast app, but I do. It's like one of the few things I subscribe to on YouTube, which is the Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner podcast,
which I need to check out.
Which is called Dropping Names and Other Things. I would love to know what you think about this, because I actually suspect that the format is like, if we had friends who were famous and we brought them on, I think that's what we would do.
Do we have any friends who are famous?
No. Dan Ches, he's famous, right? In like one corner of Iowa.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So Dan Ches. Yeah. But it's very quirky. Those two are clearly like longtime friends, more friendly than I realized. It's not. I don't know. It's weird. Brent Spiner he's an odd character. He's a very.
Right. It's like, I don't think that I ever would have thought that they would be friends, because I feel like I would really like Jonathan Frakes, and I think that he would be hilarious. But Brent Spiner is just weird.
He is just weird. But they get along. Their first episode was with LeVar Burton.
Nice.
And I didn't realize how close that cast was. You do 24 episodes for 7 seasons, and then you do 4 movies together. I'm sure you get close, but I feel like we hear so often of these shows where everybody's like at each other's throat, right? Like I think about Yellowstone, and all the rumors and stuff going on about that cast. That I kind of took that for granted, but they have a very deep relationship and they play off each other. They understand each other and they're just having fun. The Jonathan Frakes, I enjoy listening to him talk pretty much all the time. And his His stories are great. His voice reminds me of my Uncle Ted. May his memory be eternal. They sound exactly alike. Like the mannerisms even are pretty on point, which always gets me. So that was my dad's oldest brother. But no, you should watch it. I would love to know what you think about it. We could talk about it here. They're not releasing them very often. They have quite a high production value. They have like a studio setup for this thing, and they've got like these custom bookshelves. I mean, like you should check it out because it's a little more than I would have anticipated for that type of a show, you know. But yeah, and Jonathan Frakes has this little bell that sits next to his chair, and every time they drop a name, he dings it. And he's mostly on point. But they are constantly making connections and stories to other people in Hollywood and folks that they worked with. And it turns out, like Brent Spiner, I didn't even realize how much stuff he's been in besides Star Trek, and how many other famous actors that he has met and interacted with. LeVar Burton too. It's almost insane. Like I genuinely think of him as Star Trek and Reading Rainbow, and that's it. But it turns out that that's like just the tip of the iceberg. So he was in Roots. I don't know why I don't even think about Roots, but like that's his thing. That's his claim to fame. That's the big thing that put him on the map. So all I care about is Star Trek.
But not Starfleet Academy.
I have not watched it. I don't even have a Paramount Plus subscription right now, Jonathan.
I have not watched all of them. I think I'm about 2 behind. I don't recommend it, Stan.
Fascinating. Now, you never watched Discovery, right?
I never watched Discovery.
I don't know how much of Discovery is required for watching. I've never seen the last season of Discovery. I just disliked Discovery that much that I couldn't do it. I've been intrigued because Robert Picardo appears in this. That's the Doctor, right, from Voyager, and I've been told that the young Jake Sisko appears. He's not young anymore,
right?
Yeah,
it's an older Jake Sisko. Yeah.
I've heard there's a whole bunch of canon issues with his appearance, and so I'm like marginally intrigued. But
I think you could probably watch that episode in a void and get away with it.
Maybe here's my problem. Like I disliked Discovery so much that is the reason why I haven't started Academy. I don't know anything about Academy.
Even worse though, because it's like Discovery New Trek meets teenage drama.
Yeah, and that doesn't resonate well for me right now because I have my own. I live with that.
Lucy might love it, but
good lord, good lord.
It's like Dawson's Creek meets Starfleet Academy.
Nope, I'm out. I'm done. I
never watched Dawson's Creek, so that could be an unfair.
I didn't either. But I knew the people that did, right? And I didn't like any of them. No offense. I'm sure you're all fantastic humans now, but I didn't like you at the time. Yeah. You know what I have been watching? I'm a little late to the party on this one. I've been watching Downton Abbey.
Yes, you're very late to the party on this one. Like their last movie came out, didn't it?
I think so. Yeah. And I think we're in season 3 right now. The story with this is probably 7 years ago, my wife started watching the show, and I watched the first episode with her, and I hated it. I thought the pilot was absolutely terrible. And I stand by that assessment, right? Like I saw parts of the pilot again, still thought it was terrible. But the problem is the pilot is so misleading for the rest of the show. The dialogue is so fantastic. And what's her name? Dame Maggie. John McGonagall. What is her name? I should know this. I'm looking it up. Dame. It's Maggie,
Smith.
right?
Maggie
Smith. Yeah. She has some of the best lines in the show. She has got a wit and like just a flavor of sarcasm to her that I love. I really enjoy Charles Carson. I think his character is one of my favorites in the whole show.
That will continue through almost everything.
I believe that. He's just such a delightful human. Here's my hot take for you. I can't stand Mrs. Patmore.
Agreed.
Oh, she is so irritating to me. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm in, season 3.
How many
some
deaths
terrible
have there
things.
been so far?
What's there?
How many deaths have happened so far?
Oh, so many. But one of the core characters just passed away in season 3. And so I'm gonna be honest, I'm not happy with the current state of the storyline. But again, the dialogue is so good. Isabel Crawley, so that is oh my gosh, what's his name? The one I can't believe I'm doing this. It's not Cora. It's Mary's husband. What's Mary's husband's name, Jonathan? Matthew Crawley. Took me so
Okay.
good Lord. All right. So his mom was the most annoying character to me, especially during World War I. And now I absolutely adore her.
Nice.
So I don't even know where this is going, but I really like her.
Oh,
So,
it's a roller coaster, Stan, but it's good overall.
yeah. So that's what I've been watching, and a little late to the party. But I just keep thinking to myself, like, if we could come up with whatever the Star Trek equivalent is of Downton Abbey, like that's what they should have done for Starfleet Academy, right? They should have done a Downton Abbey spin, not set in the Discovery timeline, but go take me to in between years between Captain Archer and Captain Kirk, and set me in San Francisco at that Starfleet Academy, right? Downton Abbey style. That's what I want.
Maybe we should start working on it, Stan.
Yeah, we'll write some fan fiction, sell it to Paramount, and we can quit our day jobs. So, well, Jonathan, I didn't know what we were going to talk about, but in true fashion, we ended up exactly where I knew we would.
Right.
So, hey, I know it's a little early in the day, but I opened up a bottle of white Bordeaux, which we tried with the Wall Street Journal Advent Calendar.
Yep.
And it made an appearance again for me on the cruise ship. And I'm just going to say that I think there's something special about white wine from Bordeaux that we need to explore together.
Okay. I don't remember loving the one we had in the Advent calendar.
We didn't. And I would not have thought to buy a white Bordeaux had it not been for a different white Bordeaux on the cruise, where I was like, oh, there's a lot going on. This is not, it was not like the little Wall Street Journal one. So there you go.
Love it. All right. Well, it's been far too long since we drank wine together again, Stan. So we should remedy that.
You wanna meet me in McHenry in about 6 weeks?
We'll see.
All right. Okay, Jonathan. I think that's as good a place to end it. Until next time, my friend.
All right. Later.
That's a wrap, yo, time to unplug. Stan and John just served that mug. Twist of lemon, sharp and clean. Truth and tech on your podcast screen. Catch us next time, don't let it slip. Wisdom packed in every clip. From faith to fiber, finance to code. We're taking the mic down the open road. Stay sharp, stay bold. That's the theme with a lemon twist and a pop.